politics, and we cannot dispute that fact. And talking about politics, gentlemen, we have a little time remaining. I would like us to look into the Jubilee politics. I mean, it would be unfair for us to just live here and not talk about that. Quite a number of dailies now talking about this. Some dailies saying that Ruto allies now face the sack in Parliament. We're talking about, Ruto allies, Deputy President William Ruto's allies, facing the sack in key Parliament or House positions, like the Majority Leader in the Senate, in the Parliament, and also in other House committees. You know, the wrangles in Jubilee. Do you think, Sirikal, in your own point of view, is it a matter of will, or is it a matter of if Jubilee party holds until the 2022 general elections?
First, Timothy, Kenyan politics, Kenyan political party systems have always been based on tribes. They don't stand for any ideology. They are just a coalition of tribes to advance their agenda and benefit them. So it was any good student of political science knew that the possibility of Jubilee living beyond 10 years or beyond 2022 was always something that it was not possible, because once you bring a lot of parties together to form a coalition, it is a matter of fact that there must be some uproar and some defections. But the Jubilee wrangles was long overdue. I knew every Kenyan almost knew that they were long overdue, because the political marriage is ended, and once your political marriage becomes violent or disrespectful, you have to end it. And I think it's high time Kenyans stood up and built their political party systems on ideologies rather than on tribalism or on tribal lines.
Sure. Bore, I would like to bring you on this. Your take on that. Do you think Jubilee will hold till 2022?
First, I want to say that when Jubilee was formed, it was pomp and color. And I want to say that, Timothy, I was part of the delegation that was at Kasarani that time.
What happened?
When we founded all the parties of the Jubilee, the affiliated parties, and formed the Jubilee.
Bore, let me just interject. You guys dissolved all parties and decided to form one party, and somebody actually won. I cannot remember who, but there's a senior politician who won and said, if this does not take us back to the days of KANU, this thing is not going to hold and it's going to fail miserably.
I remember the former governor of Bomet County, that is Isaac Ruto,
yes.
Some of these leaders that you will regret having folded these parties, because URP will need it in future.
Sure.
But I want to say this, that first, it is very important to note that in this country, political parties have only been used as avenues and vehicles to take you to power. And once you're in power, you don't want to really focus on those parties anymore. And what we're having now in Jubilee Party was something that was expected, and it was just a matter of time that these wrangles will come in play. Remember that if you tell me, I like to use the analogy of marriage, that this was a marriage that was founded on the basis of, convenience. It was not on true love, quote unquote, right? This was these are people who had been convicted, who had been charged in the ICC, and they wanted to end their cases and all that. So when they achieved some of those things, I'm telling you, the relationship that they had now failed, and it failed totally, because already we have individuals who have different ambitions, who have President Kenyatta on one side is working on his legacy, the deputy president on the other end is working on his 2022 succession politics. So it has really found, and the Jubilee is no longer one, it has been divided into two. We have two leaders right now. When we talk of secretary generals, if you have been following keenly, we have the secretary general, that is Raphael Tuju, who's speaks on behalf of President Uhuru, so to say.
Yes.
And then we have the Member of Parliament for Soy, Caleb Kositanye, who speaks for the Deputy President and his allies. So already the Jubilee Party is divided right in the middle. And remember, the other day over the weekend, the National Management Committee members were formally gazetted. It was even in the newspapers.
Yes.
So that, again, contravenes the Registrar of Political Parties directive that had really told them that they need to handle some of those dissenting views through their the political parties tribunal. And remember, we have the Political Parties Act of 2011 that set aside some of these particular, avenues that can be used to deal with disputes that arise in a political party. But Jubilee Party has failed to do that. So this is a party that had a promising future, if you ask me, because at that time we thought that they would hold for a long time. That this is a party that will change the politics of this country. And as Serkal says, our politics really is pegged on individuals and is pegged on, tribes rather than policies. Look at what happens in mature democracies, where we have parties in the United States, in the United Kingdom. They're based on ideologies.
Ideologies, yeah. That's why we consistently have Democrats and Republicans. They've got what they stand for always, and I mean, it's not a matter of guesswork. And it's quite unfortunate for you. I'm sorry, Bore. I didn't know that you are part of the, pioneer team for the Jubilee. But I hope that you do take heart. For interest of time, I would like also to bring in Sirikal on this. Sirikal, I think I would like to hear your view on this. Right now, what we are seeing is a very, ugly, I would say, tussle between the Deputy President and the President, although the President himself is not speaking. But then we have Deputy President's men coming out clearly and saying that they are not going down without a fight. How ugly do you think it's going to be or is going to get in Jubilee Party? What's the worst case scenario? Are we going to see resignations from government positions? Are we likely to see, them letting go so easily?
We are in Africa, more so we are in Kenya. The possibility of resignations are very minimal. That's a fact.
We rule that out.
On the other side, you asked me about whether Jubilee will survive till 2022. Jubilee will survive in some faction, but there will be many defections, meaning many rivals will revolt and form their own or gang up against Jubilee. I think, again, in the meantime, the Deputy President or the 2022 succession politics could not have started earlier. They could have waited for the right time because they had an agenda, they had a manifesto to the Kenyans. Jubilee didn't even fulfill its manifesto, its pledges to the Kenyans, meaning it was based on self-interest and on individuals. Therefore, it was long overdue for Jubilee wrangles to start, and they started, and many defections will come in the coming years, more so due to in the coming years, mostly from 2021 before the elections. So Jubilee will be there maybe in 2022, but what matters is who will be there. Maybe the president's team will be there, but on the other side, they might form their own. But I think as Kenyans, we should not accept succession politics as early as now. Some people are inciting us. If you hear very well, you are told that your marriage or the Jubilee marriage, someone must repay. This is politics. No one should be enforced on anyone. We need it. But as time goes by, in 2022, the 21st century, I think Kenyans need to stand up for ideologies.
Sure.
Not against ethnic lines or tribes or so and so is our son. We need people who are technocrats who can take Kenya very far.
I do agree with you, Sirikal, and I would like to bring in Bore at this time. We are running out of time. Bore, do you think that your party right now has failed? Because like Sirikal mentioned, you had a manifesto you gave to Kenyans. You told us about the big stadiums, almost 7, 8 stadiums. We've not seen any, or if we've seen any, not in Jubilee Tufts. What happened? And do you think that Kenyans have lost trust in this? And should the Jubilee Party break apart? And we are clearly seeing it's divided right in the middle. the numbers are not, you know, it's neither here nor there, because we have two very strong or formidable teams battling it out in Jubilee. What's the likelihood of either the deputy president leaving the party or the president forming another coalition and abandoning the Jubilee?
First, I want to say that the Jubilee party that I supported is not the Jubilee party that we have right now. So
you are played.
might not be a full member now.
You are played.
But be that as it may,
yeah.
I would want to say that really looking at the politics that we have right now, it is only evident that we are going to have new formations in the run-up to 2022. And of course, if you read the papers, currently what we are having are talks of coalition government post-coronavirus, and we have had, and if you listen to the President Kindi during the Labor Day, he talked of having a team that could help in reviving the economy. So if you listen to it very keenly, you will be very keen to know that probably what it means that he's going to bring some of these particular individuals on board on the basis of helping to revive the economy. And that, in my view, is also a political game, you know, in the run-up to 2022. We have individuals in the KANU government, Gideon Moi, and meetings have been happening, by the way. Meetings have been happening. We read in the papers that there was a meeting that was held at Paul Otwoma's home in Karen, where we had the likes of Atwoli, Raila Odinga, Eugene Wamalwa.
People went for lunch there.
Yes, for lunch. And you really, Timothy, would want to know that it was not only lunch, but politics was discussed. So I want to say that Deputy President has decided to fight from within the party. And in my view, if it does not win, he might have to opt for a new vehicle of the same. Because already the president's side seems to have taken control of the party.
All right, sure. And gentlemen, for interest of time, I think we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much, both of you, for finding time and also, you know, sparing your morning to talk to us. Viewer, we have come to the end of our program this morning. Thank you very much for staying tuned. For any comments, suggestions, or opinion, you can send us an SMS on 21144. Our hashtag is GBS Morning Extra. Our Twitter handle is @KenyaGBS. My name is Timothy Omondi. Have yourself a lovely day, and I hope to see you again tomorrow, God willing. Bye-bye for now, and thank you very much, gentlemen.